Tim, welcome back. Looking forward to this fight. Are you excited to finally be back after a few months off?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready to get back into the ring there after that little bit of disappointment. But things are as they are. I'm back to being a 2-1 underdog. People not thinking much from me, so life is good.
Yeah, and talk to me about that. I mean, we talked to you so much before it, and we haven't really heard much from you since it. Was it just something that happened, and you've learned to deal with it? Is there any regrets you have about the fight? Can you just take me into your psyche a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely got some regrets there. We had a pretty good game plan against Fedor. The only problem was it wasn't an exciting. It wasn't the road that the path that my coaches and myself wanted to take. I definitely deviated from it. Not to say things would have ended up differently, but I'm not a knockout artist. Fedor is, and when I made the decision to go, well, let's see who hits each other first. Well, his hand speed is a lot better than mine, and he definitely hit me first.
And you talked about, you just kind of referenced it there. You're kind of the guy that flies under the radar. Do you feel like being on the radar, did that get to you at all? Just the moment being in Russia, or was that really not part of the issue that went on there?
Maybe a little bit. I didn't want to admit it, maybe that, the whole scene, and it really didn't get to me all that much. I thought it was almost an honor that I was able to be in that position, be in Russia, and, I was more recognized walking around Russia than I am, back walking around Minnesota, honestly. I think I was kind of put on the back, but once I got in there a little bit, I think maybe the moment got to me maybe a little bit. That's not an excuse. I mean, I went out there and fought and tried to finish the fight. But yeah, no, I like when people don't think much of me. It kind of puts a little added grit to my fight game.
So I guess what have you done since we last saw you to turn things around coming into this fight? Do you feel pretty confident in your abilities that you can get back in the winning column come Friday?
Yeah, I think so. I put in a lot of work this camp, different type of work. My last few camps, I kind of got away from sparring. This time I actually upped my sparring a lot more. Sparring, 4 times a week instead of 2 times a week, and just getting a lot of rounds in. And yeah, just kind of putting in the work, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you like this matchup?
I do. Me and Linton communicated to each other. At the time, he just came off the Tyrell fight, and I was searching for a fight. And we kind of talked back and forth a little bit. I'm like, hey, man, this fight makes sense for both of us. He gets a win over me, puts him right in line where he wants to be. If I get a win over him, puts me right in line back where I want to be. So I think for both of us, career-wise, this fight makes the most sense.
Do you like fighting a guy that you kind of have communications with, that you enjoy and like as a person?
Oh, absolutely. I'd rather fight someone who's a good sport than someone who's a jackass any day of the week.
Hey, Tim. So I believe your initial opponent was running it back with Tyrell Fortune. After Friday night, are you still interested in attempting to go 2-0 against Fortune? Or with the win here, is there anybody else you have in mind?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Tyrell wasn't even on, that wasn't ever up in conversations at all. It was always me and Linton. We had a gentleman's agreement weeks before it was announced. So yeah, I don't know where the Tyrell thing came up from. I saw it online. I'm like, wait a minute. Did someone type in the wrong words here? Because I'm pretty sure me and Linton agreed to fight each other. So I called my agent on that. He's like, yeah, that was a mistake. No worries about it. So a win here, a win here is going to have me really focusing a lot on the fight here in May. See who wins there. Because that's a pretty quick turnaround for them as well. Say if Czech or Ryan have to back out last minute for something, I'd gladly fight in 3 weeks.
Talking about Czech Congo, the last time that you dropped 2 in a row, that was Congo Vitali. Then you won 3 in a row, avenging that Congo loss. I'm curious, do you think that we can see a repeat of history starting a new streak Friday night?
I sure hope so. I haven't been Mr. Consistency in my fight career, so to speak. Once I got to the UFC, it was win 1, loss 1, win 1, loss 1, then lose 2, then win 3 in a row, then lost 2. So now I should be on a streak of winning 3 in a row again, right?
Absolutely. Last one from me. You've spoken about the importance of your confidence heading into fights, and then with you mentioning just now maybe the gravity of that moment in Russia getting to. I'm curious, where do you believe your confidence is at right now?
Confidence for anyone can you can can make them fake being something they're not. If you believe in yourself, you can go out and accomplish things that you probably normally wouldn't if you didn't have the right mindset.
What's up, Tim? How you doing? How have guys like Ilir Latifi and Chris Thompson helped you in your preparation for this fight with Linton?
Chris Thompson is a great training partner. If everyone doesn't know him, like he is a guy that's in the gym every day, whether he's got a fight or not. He's going to be a great partner for you in those. And as many people in the MMA world, that you don't always have that. And Latifi, he fights the same way, that gritty, grappling, Greco-Roman upper body, and we challenge each other. We try to at the end of the day of our training sessions, we like to kind of keep a tally almost of who scored the most takedowns. Unfortunately, I think he won that battle more often than I did.
Yeah, and I gotta ask you, after last fight, you went out for drinks with Fedor's team in Russia. How did you manage to bridge that language barrier? And can you just describe the overall experience, like what that was like? Because most of us can only dream of having a night like that in Russia with Fedor.
I think we had a couple interpreters hanging out, drinking with us as well. And it was actually just at the hotel bar there. And I think they kept the bar open a little longer than they were supposed to for all of us. But honestly, I'm going to have to check the film on that because I don't remember a lot from that night. I do know there was a lot of good old-fashioned BS and a lot of laughing, and it was a good time all around.
All right, we are going to switch over to our questions from the Zoom. Nathan, go ahead.
Tim, you served in the military. I want to say thank you for your service. You spent time in Fort Leonard Wood, which is right outside of St. Louis, St. Louis name. Tell us about your time there and how that's impacted and shaped you as a fighter.
By basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, back in the day, let me see, when did I go through basic training? I think like 2006. Funny story, I was actually airlifted out of Fort Leonard Wood and transferred to University of Columbia Medical Center because I had a necrotizing fasciitis infection where they thought they were going to have to amputate my leg. But unfortunately, that worked out in my favor. They antibodied and got good. But, that just becoming a soldier, I think every generation says it was harder for them, but it was definitely different back then than it is now. And it, just taught you, especially that instant for me, just taught me to kind of get over a lot of adversity. In a nutshell, missed my first 2 weeks of basic training because I'm in the hospital and had to show up and play catch up. And the drill sergeants there, instead of recycling me, they actually looked at my credentials and said, "Oh, you're an All-American wrestler. That's all right. You're going to catch up with the rest of us. Don't worry. We're not going to recycle you." So just from the get-go, just had to overcome a pretty big hump right away.
All right, and I asked this question to Linton as well, so I'll pose it to you. With a win, if you were not to get the winner of Bader and Congo, who would you rather rematch, Moldavsky or Fedor, and why?
Well, I don't think either way. I don't think the option would be for Fedor. I know they ran that. I think they probably got different plans for Fedor, but it'd be Moldavsky. I did a 5-round fight with him, and a lot of changes I could make in that fight, and I'm sure a lot of changes he'd make in that fight as well. But I was pretty happy with my performance in that fight, and I'd like another stab at that one. Thank you.
All right, moving over to Ashan.
Hey, Tim. Just wanted to ask, obviously you're good friends with Linton Vassell. Just wanted to ask, do you see any holes in his game that you can exploit?
No more holes in his game than are in mine, I guess. And so that means there's no holes in either of our games because we're both supreme fighters.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, how does your camp be for this fight, Tim?
It's been a good one. I guess camp's over. I don't need to knock on wood anymore. No major injuries, just your run-of-the-mill, bumps and bruises. I don't think anyone ever goes into a fight 100% because that means you didn't put in enough work. But yeah, this overall has been a good camp. My lungs feel great. Grappling feels great, and on my feet I'm feeling really good as well.